Let me tell you something. There are things we are learning as adults because of the families. I grew up in a family whereby a man was a man. I'm doing this thing because not over anything else. I want to be a good father who can be imitated by his children.
Vitu ni different kwa ground ama like...
No. When I go to the house, I'm a father and a husband. There are things I'll do. But definitely if they happen to bring anything to do with karate nearby me, nitaka niweze kujionea.
Any song.
Sasa nitamwambia gani?
Okay, you can
never give up. Never. I like that song. Na kwamba never ever.
So hata saizi ukisikia mtu anakuwa, you know there are these people, we call them mwalimu wa math. They talk. They don't care like wako hapo kukujudge. Maybe usikie kidogo unakulanga sadaka ya kanisa. Ulionekana sijui na nani wapi, mlikuwa mnafanya nini, hawajui, they don't know what business gani imewaleta hapo. You get? So such people ukiwasikia wewe unyamaza. Anything.
Let me tell you, there are two things the church ambazo pastor utajikuta ndani yake. Or three. If you're not being accused of misusing church money, you're accused you have a lady, an affair. If you're not accused of these two things, you're accused of pride. She is so proud. Those three things. And definitely they are the thing that makes people, members of the clergy, feel either money, fame, or ladies, female. You see, we always say a clergy undoing his fortune, that is money, fame, and female. 3 F's. You see, and most of the time you find yourself being accused. For example, you've gone to town, you go to Java. I meet Serengo is also taking coffee. I join Serengo. I pay the bill. A clergy, somebody comes, they doesn't want to know umetoana wapi, or even kama ni wenu ama sio wenu. The next thing you hear is that there's an affair, and there's no evidence anywhere about the whole thing. Sometimes you live a life. Some people doesn't know where you get your money. Maybe sometimes your wife is a business person, she'll go another money. Maybe your background, where you have this, you're able to get money and do something. Maybe you are, for example, if I go to my education part, I'll tell you, after doing my national diploma, I have done other education. I'll be telling you about that. Whereby I've been doing part-time in some of the universities. You get money. But people doesn't know how you get your money. But people still speak and say, hapana, people may think that you're using their money. And sometimes you have the grace and favor with Christians. Yeah, you find somebody comes and maybe brings you a shoe, a very expensive, or maybe a suit, and your suit in your pay, all these things. So I always tell people, and also the clergy who are there, maybe the young who are behind me, these things will be their accusation, but make sure they are not true. Don't fight for yourself, but make sure they're not true. That is, don't do it. But even if you don't do it, they always look for something to tell you. I will look at and tell you every clergy. Kama si unasikia ni kimaringo, ni kama nara binguni, anakuja asubuhi, ni pesa, ni wanawake. So that happens. But I tell them, don't do it, because people are saying you should not do it. You know yourself, you know your God, you know your relationship, you know your purpose that God has called you for. You know where you're going. And sometimes when you start, when people start accusing you and you start fighting, you lose the focus of what God has called you for. And you remember somebody like Nehemiah. Nehemiah would have not been unable to rebuild Jerusalem if he focused with the guys like Sanballat and Tobias who are all saying so many things around him. So to me, I would say focus on what God has called you. Because if you don't focus, you will go to other side shows. You may find yourself losing, and it will happen. In this world, hata ukijifungia kwa nyumba ndio usikuwe accused. Watasema umekuwa wazimu. You are now depressed, that's why you're not coming out of your house. So you need to live, because God has called you to live your life. But make sure your relationship with God is right. That is the most important thing. Yeah, other thing they may say, but this is what I know. Relation with God is right. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Being a father, sometimes ukitoka, okay, ukitoka hapo uende kwa nyumba, now you are a father, a husband. Do you still act like kuna changes ama you're still a deacon? Vitu ni different kwa ground ama like
No. When I go to the house, I'm a father and a husband. There are things I'll do. If I find them watching a movie, I would sit down and we watch the movie. I'm no longer the father. Although we are watching the movie, there are things I would see there and remember my father would tell na hiyo unaona kama hiyo ukifanya hiyo itakupeleka, you see. So I will let us watch the movie they are watching, but I would use it as an opportunity for learning and cautioning them on issues. Unaona hiyo wamefanya vile ameenda to do that. I can do anything with them. Some you find my girls, there was a time they wanted to do to teach themselves dancing. I would join them. They're doing their dancing. Why? Because I feel I'm their father. They need to see that their father is with them. You see? So when I'm a father, I forget about being a clergy. But at the same time, I'm as a father, one of the roles of the father is being the spiritual leader. So I don't forget my role as a leader in the house. We'll do the divorce together and all that.
Okay, sometimes maybe unaweza sahau kikombe kwa meza, umetoa socks, umetupa huko kwa kona, umeamka, maybe uliamka wa mwisho utaki ku spread bed. Such things.
Let me tell you something. There are things we are learning as adults because of the families. I grew up in a family whereby a man was a man, and a man would not even go to the kitchen. My dad would come and tell me, "Unafanya nini jikoni?" All together. My dad would come because we thought we were a man. Ukikula hauchukui sahani, unaziacha mahali pale. Ukiamka asubuhi hautandiki kitanda. Those things happen. Never made a bed. But now here it comes as a father. You have a wife who is disciplining the children to make sure that they come out of the bed, they make their own bed. Who are you now that you make her leave a bed? You have to make a bed. You have to take your plate and get the kitchen because now you went to be a good father to your children and teach them this discipline. Sometimes you have to cook when you are at home. You have to cook because you let your children know.
So you
yes, I cook when I'm if I'm home and they go somewhere and I feel that they may be late or they are tired. I'll go to the kitchen and do some cooking.
Wow.
Definitely. You see, but then I'm doing this thing because not over anything else. I want to be a good father who can be imitated by his children. Something happened when I was young. Sometimes when we were young, a family, I remember I would not even move anything from the table. I would sit and watch TV. And my son would do the same. I told you too. So we had to change so that I transform my son. And today I would say he's one of the best sons I have because even the sisters, sometimes when I'm tumia vibaya, because he goes to the kitchen, cooks for them, does everything for them. Because I agreed to change, so that because of him. Because if I lived a life whereby he is imitating me, then what would happen? He would be one day not be a good person. So I have to change and do things that can be borrowed by be imitated by my children, that they can grow well. I have to pray and read the Bible in the house because I know I want my children to have that history and be able. Yes, I have relationship with God, but I have to do it because I want to tell them this is the way to go. I have to be very hardworking because I want my children to be hardworking. Yeah. So there are things you do because you need to mentor a family, and the only way to mentor a family is by doing them. Yeah.
Okay, what are your hobbies?
Wow, my hobbies.
The fun games, ninis.
Do I have hobbies really? I've been so serious and very busy with my work that do I have hobby? Okay, I like watching movie. That is one for me. I like watching movie. And
what
action
kind of
movie.
Music? Oh, action
movie. Action movie. I would always like to watch Denzel Washington.
You said you used to be a karate, taekwondo.
Yeah, I did taekwondo, but now I like watching action movie. Denzel Washington being my best actor.
Wow.
And then recently I started going for swimming training. Now at least I can do some few strokes in the swimming. I can be able to swim, not very well, but I'm doing it because I feel I want to do it. Is a physical exercise, but I feel swimming is also good. And then I found that my children want to be trained. Whenever I took them, I also had to go in with them. So I'm doing some swimming nowadays. I've gone back to the gym, but the reason I'm going back to the gym is because of health issues. I remember sometimes my leg was paining and I was told, weka gari kando and do some mazoezi. And because of that right now, I'm also, every time I go to, sometimes I go for gym, not because I want the biceps, no, but because I want just my full body to be fit for that. And I also read books. Yeah, because as a clergy, definitely, you have to be empowered.
Okay, ni game gani wewe uenjoy?
Games. One thing I don't like football.
Why?
Not because football is bad. I was a fan of football. But one day I thought myself, nakaa chini mpaka saa 7 usiku nikiwatch watu wakicheza mpira. Asubuhi nasikia siwezi fanya kazi, niko na dizziness kazi. Na jamani kulipwa nalipwa. Na mimi kazi yangu ni kumwatch mpaka saa 7 usiku, kazi yangu sifa. So niliacha ball hivyo pole pole. So for now I would not say that there is a game ambayo napenda kuwatch sana. Definitely sana. But definitely if they happen to bring anything to do with karate nearby me, nitaka niweze kujionea.
Can you please share with us the difficult times zenye ume experience sasa ukishaingia kwa?
I'll say the ministry has not been bread and butter. One, you go to a parish, maybe you were given good ideas for that parish, but you find there's obstacles all over. People feel for them they cannot do that. Sometimes you have to convince them, sometimes they refuse. They feel that ungefanya kama walikubali. And sometimes you go to other parishes, you do something, then later you are gone, it stops there. It doesn't go anymore. There's no more development in whatever it was done. Coming in your mind how you sacrifice for it to be where it is, you feel this was not the right thing, and you feel something don't go well. I remember once I went somewhere and I found a small school, and as I was coming out of that parish, it was in class form. Already we wanted to buy a bus for the school the following term. So we were planning ourselves, and transfer comes in because the transfer is the issue is our usual thing. You are taken away, and then somebody comes in. Instead of taking the school to the next level, he brings down the whole school, and there's no more school there. You feel the sacrifice others and you did who are before you has all been brought down. Sometimes you feel so bad of some of these things. So there are obstacles, there are challenges anyway in the ministry. Because sometimes people may not see the way they think you are seeing. And sometimes you may not see the way people are seeing. You have got this vision for the church, and they feel like, we don't want to go that way. And sometimes what I've come to believe, it is good to convince people and to buy your vision. The work will be very easy, rather than forcing things to be done. And I've come to realize that by the time you're able to sell your dream and your vision to other people, and they buy it, the work becomes easier, and you're able to move on. Wow, there are challenges up and down. Sometimes you have to discipline people, and as a church, you have to be fatherly. You feel that whatever is being done should not be done. But at the same time, you feel, no, I have to take action and work.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you say you are a human being. Sometimes you feel like kuna mtu amekukosea na ndio hiyo words zimetoka za matusi, abusive language. Unanyamaza ama unafanya nini?
I told you
your son, your daughter, hapo ni sasa nyumbani. No one is seeing you uko nje. So you feel like umemkataza maybe kitu asikie, unasikia mjinga wewe. Mambo such things or that on Twitter.
I don't think I've ever abused them. Hey. But scolding I have, beating I have. I like to use what we call sense, common sense. You know, sometimes calling at somebody mjinga or ng'ombe, you're not helping. But sit to that person, tell him the repercussion of what he has done, and then you punish him, because punishing you have to punish. Are we together? But the issue of matusi tuwewe ng'ombe, that one is not me. I don't know where it went, because I was good in it kule nje before I got saved. But when I got saved, as you end up, I'm one of the people, even in the house, you do not find me scolding and calling a child an abusive word. But definitely I was called and telling him, fanya nini, as a father, that one I have to do. Yeah, and also even punish, but not the issue of the abusive language. Okay,
what is this unique thing that you can say about you or maybe and your family? Yeah.
Well, is anything unique as a family? We are like any other family. With ups and downs, challenges in life. And Like now we have got sickness in our home. Sometimes you find my dad. There was a time my dad was not feeling well, and I'm looking at him. My mom, my mother-in-law, my grandmother-in-law. So you find we live a normal life like anybody else, going through the things other people are going through. Even sometimes even harder. Sometimes you become unajiuliza, kwani sisi what happened? Because every time you've got somebody in the hospital or something of that kind. We live the life like anybody else, the way they live. That is it. Yeah.
Okay. What's the most favorite thing unapenda kufanya?
My way of stress management is walking. I walk. The two, the issue of watching movie or listening to music. I'm a good person who like to do the gospel mogithi. Whenever I hear about the gospel mogithi, I will put the gospel mogithi in my car when I'm alone, and I'll go singing alone. I like the gospel mogithi. That is what I like.
Ukiwa nyumbani umewahi jikuta una dance, there's a certain song imekubamba and
I'm human.
You dance.
I'm human. Itaimba usikie na hiyo membo ujikuta umetikiza mguu ama umedance.
Okay, do you always listen to just gospel song ama saa zingine unajikuta ka secular kameingia tu?
As a pastor, I listen to them. Because sometimes when I go to, like remember when the youth had a retreat there, there are songs I was rebuking.
Yeah.
How could I rebuke them if I did not listen to them? I listen to them if you know that song is your wimbo in a mambo yambo sio mazu. So as a pastor, sometimes you listen to them because you need to be able to train the people and have the substance. You're telling them, you don't go and tell them your wimbo ni mbaya ni ya shetani. No. Tell the kid, this song is bad because number one, when I say listen the vulgar language they are using, listen what they are doing, this is what they are doing. Are you together? So definitely, you're able to listen to it, and after listening to it, you are able now to counsel and help the children. You are youth in the house, because now I've got the youth in the house, and also in the church. Tell them secular music, this kind of music is not the best music. This one is okay. You see mzuri and all those things. One thing you need to know, as you said, I'm human. And I've got two eyes like anybody else. These things you see them. But I always tell people, if you come to church yelling in a bad way, I'll tell you not to, because we're in a public place. But when you go outside there, I have no business. If I feel you're not wearing, it is for me to move away from you. Are you together? But when in the church, maybe you tell you so and so, please, because you are sitting with other people and they feel offended, why don't you be decent for the sake of the other people? Are we together? But when I do the catechism class, I always tell them, when you're coming for catechism, when you're kneeling, make sure that you umevaa ngombe mafunika wapi, because when you're kneeling down there, the lay readers and the clergy macho yao itaona wapi. So wear a decent cloth. And if you are going somewhere and maybe you want to be there because of your kind of work, or maybe your family, look for something unazafunika hapa. Ukitoka ondoa, mimi sina shida, mimi yuko nje. If I ask you about whatever you are doing, then ask me, because I think it is me who be now intruding to your matters. But in the church, I have to please be this way, because we feel we need to care about everybody else in the church who are there. And it's the Bible that says we should care about our big brothers. So mimi uko nje nikutana na serengo nione vile meva, mimi naangalia pande nyingine naenda. That is not my business. Lakini kanisa nitaambia serengo, hebu kuja please next time funika kidogo. Are we together? So I think it depends where you are. Anataka
umuombe kibiashara. Tunaona kuna mtu ni mwizi. Every day akienda kuiba lazima aombe Mungu. Kuna kila mtu na kazi yake. So mtu akikuja hapo pengine amekuletea tithe nini, do you care anafanya nini, kwa nini ameleta, ama wewe uchukue pesa alafu you do your things?
Number one, I will tell you Selengo, most of the people come to the church for prayers to the clergy. They will always tell you what they are doing, or you ask them unafanya kazi gani. But as the whole church there now, I don't know what they do. You see?
True.
Some use even the M-Pesa to give over to them. So I cannot tell you 100% whether that every man that comes to that church comes from a business, because I know maybe the others who are doing other business, some who have got bars and all those things. So I don't know who will give the money. I don't know where the car comes from, and that is why you find every time bring the money, the first thing is to pray for the money and sanctify the money, so that wherever the money has come from, able to started to be holy to be used in the altar.
Okay, speaking about tithe. Now, if mtu anafanya kazi, you said bar. Is it bad kuleta pesa kama hiyo kabisa?
Analetea Mungu wake.
Oh.
So it is not me. So if you feel that you want to give to God, who am I to tell him no? Who am I to judge him? You see? Yeah. But ukiwa uniambia hii pesa nimetoka kuiba lakini nitaidia kuiba, that one I'll refuse, I'll not take, because you are telling me where the money is coming from.
Oh, asipo mention, wewe hujui.
Mimi sijui. So I got no issue of actually ukinini following up what is happening. Yeah.
Okay. So kuna swali nataka kuuliza about right now, ukipewa chance ukue, you describe yourself as an animal, utasema ni mnyama mgani ni wewe?
Come again?
If right now you're given a chance to describe yourself as an animal, utasema wewe ni mnyama mgani?
I always describe myself as a lion.
Lion?
A lion.
Yeah. Why?
Being the king of the jungle, fierce, courageous. I know the other sometimes he is also beaten by other animals, but I feel I like the way the lion, the confidence and the courage that he moves around in the jungle. You see, there are so many things you can be able to admire from the lion. Yeah, and so sometimes he dares. You find him daring even to go and try to hunt a giraffe, an elephant, a very huge animal. You know, he's a dare. Yeah, he's a dare.
Okay.
Yeah. So to me, I would say a lion is something you can be able to imitate.
Well, thank you. So tukimalizia, kindly unaweza sema nini tukimalizia? Definitely kuna watu judge mtu, kuna wale watu wanasema hautaenda mbali, kuna wale watu kuna wenye wanajifanya wanakupenda but behind you unajua kuna kitu wanafanya.
What I tell people in this world, there are people who always love you and like you, whether you look like what or you do what, they'll just love you the way you are. There are people, even if you wash them na kuwabeba hivi, they'll still hate you.
Yeah.
What I mean is that even if you support them in any way, they'll still hate you. So I always make a joke and say, whenever you go to a parish, there are some people they look at your face and they just hate you. We always say that. But I want to tell people that it's good to focus in your life and be able to move on. And also to learn with your failures. I told you when I was in secondary school, I joked around with my education. But I got another chance to go back to college and do a diploma in theology. After that, when I went to work, I came to realize that there were areas in the church that have some need to be attended to. For example, I did a lot of theology and studies, and in my theology and in my studies, they did a very short course in pastoral counseling. But I came to realize that in the church, if there is something that is more needed, is counseling even than anything else. People have got issues that they don't want you to pray for. They want you to help them in the issue of advice and all that, counseling. So I went back to class and I did my high national diploma in counseling with the Kenya Institute of Professional Counseling in Nakuru. And when I was still doing that, I realized that it was good, but I need to go deeper because I felt there's a need in the church. So wherever you are given a job or an opportunity, it is good to look for a job because you know what will make you to have a competitive advantage over other people is when you realize the need and you attend to the need. So after doing my high national diploma in counseling, I went back to class. I did my degree in psychology. A D+ person has moved on pole too. Now I did my degree in University, Bachelor's of Psychology. I think we were the first lot to do that degree in Egerton. And after doing it, I also felt there was another need in the church, the issue of management. You know, you'll find that yes, a clergy is trained. Those days the degrees will not be, but he was given a very short course about management. So I went on to do my master's in development studies, but I specialize in organizational development. So you give me a small organization, I'll take it up and it will succeed. And I have an experience whereby I was given a microfinance from nothing in Nakuru Diocese. And today is a giant in Nakuru. So I use my education that God has given me and the favor. Then after doing the degree, my master's, I came to realize that sometimes as pastors, we ask for money to Christians, give, donate. But you don't ask yourself, wanatoa wapi pesa zao? So you find that some people are very poor and you're still telling them to give. And I remember once, I saw one of the televangelists, I don't know to say who, going to a church with a Range Rover Vogue worth 8 million. Ametokea pale juu kwa inaitwa screen, inaitwa side screen, ile pale juu, ile kio pale juu. And when he's preaching, he's telling people, umeona ile chuma nimeingia nayo. He's bragging. And myself, I was asking myself, this guy bought a 8 million car those days. 8 million car shilling. I wish you could have bought a Prado for 4 million. And then the other 4 million would have done some kind of a merry-go-round to the small people in that church that they could go and sell sukuma wiki and then they bring back the money and get some profit. So I went back to class. Now I'm doing my PhD in development studies in Kisii University. The reason I felt that before I ask these people money, I need to empower those who have got money to uplift their life, because you need to make sure that somebody is whole in all areas. That is, spiritually is growing. Also, economically, that person is growing. You know, in agriculture we say you have God in the heart, you've got education in your mind, and you've got pocket money in your pocket. It is very crucial. So I would urge even the other pastors who have got churches, before you manipulate and start asking for money and ask people to give, what are you doing to make sure that those people are moving on? Right together. Yeah. The thing I would say as I finish is that we are going to focus in development of the church holistically, yeah? And our core value is the issue of your mission. So to me, I would say, what I feel is that we need to empower people, move on with the mission, because that is our core value. And with all that, then I can tell you that people, whenever you go and you are called, make sure you know what you are called for. That will make a difference, and you will enjoy whatever you are doing. Lakini, if you live a life whereby you're being pushed to do things, you live a very miserable life, you live a grumbling life, you'll never be enjoying. For me, today, post me anywhere, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, because I feel this is what God called me to do.
Okay, there is a swali nilisahau kukuuliza. Your favorite food?
Wow, my favorite food. I know people may not believe this, but do you know my favorite food is githeri?
Oh.
You give me boiled githeri, I'm good to go. If you want it to be good for me and to eat the whole plate, githeri and then add potatoes. Hiyo tu ile hivyo. Potatoes and githeri, potato. That is my favorite food. I like that. I was brought up with that. I know people, when you're brought up with githeri, they don't want to eat githeri more. But me, that is my favorite food. Githeri. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for now. There were times that we like chapo and all those things, but now, health-wise, but githeri is my favorite food. Yeah. So if you come to home as a pastor, don't be shy of giving me githeri at pastor ameingia. You know why we are always put up and down all over is that when pastor comes, they want to eat kuku. No. Your pastor eats githeri. And I'm very comfortable with it. Yes.
Oh yeah, okay. Tukimalizia kabisa sasa ya mwisho. Nataka uimbe song moja unaweza imba. Yeah, it's a love song. Maybe you dedicate it to your wife, your family, your loved ones.
You can any
two song.
Sasa nitamwimbia gani? Sasa nitamwimbia gani? Nitaimba gani? I like Harmonize. Napenda nyimbo za Harmonize, but nyimbo ya Harmonize sasa sio ya love.
Okay, you can sing
never give up.
Never.
Never. I like that song. Ya kwamba never ever.
Unaijua utuimbe kidogo.
Sasa mnaifuata kwa video. Si ati naidha pekee, lakini akiweza kuimba na namjoin na kuimba na mali. About the issue of never give up, because there are challenges in life. So I always tell me, even in my house, in my bedroom, I have a plaque whereby imeandikwa never ever give up. That is my slogan. Never ever give up. I don't give up. In one way or the other, I don't give up in life. And I thank God because of not giving up, because I know He who gives me strength ako na mimi.
Wow.
Yeah. I wish kwa niambia mbele ningekuwa ningebeba hiyo the lyrics nikuimbia never give up. Ningekuimbia.
Next time.
Ningekuimbia ungeniambia unataka wimbo. Lakini sasa sikujua kwamba kuna wimbo. But I like the Harmonize song never ever give up.
Wow.
It is the best song I like. Yeah. Kwa hivyo nikisikiza hiyo
Pastor
ameanguka. It is very motivational. Sija backslide. It is very motivational. Not to give up in life.
Apart from Harmonize, usikiza mgani mwingine tena?
I think I like Harmonize. This guy rafiki Harmonize, Diamond, there was a time alikuwa na nyimbo nzuri sana zina, but I think the more amepata sifa
akapotea.
Ni kama amepotea. So you find some nyimbo zake sometimes anaenda kuimba lakini unasikia wakati mwingine I think ni kama anapotea sababu ya sifa yake. So I know people tell me kwa nini usikizi wa Kenya. I do listen to them. I listen to Mogithi Gospel in Kenya. Singers in Kenya. Anybody I know with a good song unaweza sikiza kweli na usikie kama umesikia anything in it. I can't recall. Tulikuwa na watu wazuri akina Bahati zamani. But now the things wanakuta kwamba Bahati ni kama walipotea njia. There's other guy anaitwa nani? There's another guy hapo. Willy Paul. Kuna mwingine pia. There are 3 guys hapo. Today they would be the Harmonize and the Diamonds of Kenya. But I think nafikiri Kenya kiburi imewasumbua sana. There's another guy ambaye I'm forgetting the name. Anaitwa nani? Nimesahau jina. Anapenda kuondosha nyimbo zake ni Karen. Kwenye Karen or something. Yet he is only the guy who lives in Karen. I know for sahau jina yake. So can you find they are gifted. And he's the one mama wimbo kwamba mawe utarushiwa mawe utapiwa na mawe. There's a song mama wimbo ambao utapiwa na mawe. Inaitwa nini? Ameimba hiyo wimbo. Inaitwa hapo hapo kama kisapana. I forget the name.
Ringtone. Oh.
You see ringtone, Remember utapigwa na mawe. These guys would be very far. Kama wange focus na what they, but I think Kenya imewasumbua. Yeah.
Well, it was nice having you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be in this studio. ICK also is Naivasha studio. I'm so grateful.
Nimependa conversation yako. Umekuwa na interesting conversation.
Asante.
Nimelearn kitu from wewe pia viewers. I hope mmelearn. Like a humble beginning is better. Na mmemsikiza vile amesema up to now penye amefika. It was such a great and nice and interesting conversation. Thank you so much for having me here. Yeah.
And maybe before I go to Serenga, I'll tell you this. And I'm telling the young people, you have reminded me about being humble. Sometimes it's good to start with some things like I did the mechanic and all that. I'm saying not everybody should not start there. But you see in Kenya, earlier on there was the NYS, whereby you are trained to do your own things. Today I can do anything without disturbing anybody because I can do things for myself. So let our young people train themselves doing things for their own. They'll never be a burden to anybody. Yeah. Thank you. I'm so grateful.
Welcome. Thank you too.
Having me here. I don't take it for granted. Thank you.
Yeah, you've heard it from him. Thank you for watching. Bye.